Hello, everyone. So I wanted to go ahead and give updates. It does look like the Democrats are looking rather somber at the moment. Van Jones just spoke on CNN. He said he's very concerned about Pennsylvania. As you know, Ms. Kamala Harris has done a lot of campaigning in Pennsylvania these last few days. And so I just wanted to kind of let you hear what he says and how they're feeling about that particular swing state.
There are a lot of young men who feel dislocated from the broader society, whether that's economically, whether that's in terms of education, whether that's in terms of what their role should traditionally be. It was once upon a time, you were a man, you graduated from high school, maybe you learned a trade and got some skills, you got married, you took care of your family, and people believed that they were happy. That's not the case for many young men today of all ethnicities, not just white young men we focus a lot on, but all young men. And so I think the Republican message of traditionalism, wanting to provide some level of economic advantage to men, is appealing to many who find themselves dislocated. And I think Trump's message on that appears to have been effective. We'll find out for sure tomorrow, but I think that's why the resonance is there.
Yeah, but Van, it's just interesting given who you're seeing Trump appear on the campaign trail with in the final stop. He brought Megyn Kelly on stage just a few moments ago. Obviously, that's someone he was trashing actually not that long ago. We never saw Nikki Haley come out on the campaign trail with him, even though she made clear, she was willing to do so. And we know that she had power with voters in key constituencies in places like Pennsylvania.
Trump is petty white. He's just petty. Won't let Nikki Haley come out. She's trying to help him. He doesn't want her help, and he'd rather win on vengeance and macho and all this sort of stuff. So when he gets in office, if he does get there, he's got a mandate to completely to stay nasty. On this point about young men, though, you say we're past the persuasion stage. I wish that were true. On the doors in Philadelphia, on the doors in Detroit, people are still in the fight to persuade young black men to come out. And the actual message that's working on the doors is Kamala Harris wants to lift you up. Donald Trump wants to lock you up. Kamala Harris has plans to get you a job, to get you help with housing, get you help with your next kid. Donald Trump wants to get stop and frisk back in place to put you in jail. He wants blanket immunity for cops to make sure that you can get beat up and nothing can be done about it. Kamala Harris wants to lift you up. Donald Trump wants to lock you up. Now, we've just discovered that is a breakthrough message in the past 72 hours. Don't forget, we had 100 days here to put.
And for me, I hate hearing stuff like this because it's so incredibly disingenuous. Kamala wants to help you out, or whatever his slogan was, help you up, and Donald Trump wants to lock you up. Like, that is ridiculous. During Donald Trump's literally this morning, I saw where a woman, what is this woman's name? I'm going to have to look it up and put it on here. She spoke about, she's actually campaigning and doing a lot for Trump out in Atlanta. Angela, I can't remember, her name escapes me, but nonetheless, she was in prison. She was pregnant while she was in prison. She actually had to have her daughter while handcuffed in the delivery room. And she met with Trump, and Trump was the one who did justice reform and made it illegal for mothers to be chained while giving birth in custody. And he ended up releasing her. He ended up releasing her and wiping her slate clean. And she speaks on Trump's behalf all throughout the South right now to this day. She's incredibly powerful. She just did like a back and forth with Pierre, the comedian, not too long ago. I need to get her name. I know her first name is Angela. I think it's Angela Houghton. Horton. Shit, what is it? So yes, I just saw this morning where a lady, I think her name is Angela Stanton King. She is incredibly powerful. You need to look her up. She just spoke just this morning, I saw on the television, where she was apprehensive about meeting with Trump. He was trying to work on prison reform, and she actually was in prison. She went to jail. While she was in prison, she was pregnant and ended up having to give birth chained to a bed during delivery. And so when she spoke to Trump at the White House, he actually put in the legislation necessary to change and implement new policy to where women no longer would be allowed to be chained to a bed table or to a gurney while giving birth in custody. This man changed that legislation. He actually released this woman from prison and wiped her slate clean. All that you saw in regards to Kim Kardashian, all of these people who were staunch advocates for prison reform and trying to release people, that was under the Trump administration. Okay. So saying that, Kamala wants to lift you up and Trump only wants to lock you up is incredibly disingenuous, especially that based on the fact that Kamala is a prosecutor. Kamala is a career prosecutor. What do prosecutors do? They lock you up. And in California, she locked up a lot of black men. She locked up a lot of black women. She locked up mothers for truancy. We know that. I've already done a video on that. She has, locked up men who were innocent and fought to get them exonerated, fought to do a whole bunch of heinous things. So, like I said, just coming from Van Jones, and I know Van Jones is just a shield for the Democratic Party, but I just think it's upsetting because it is so incredibly disingenuous and incredibly it's just not accurate. It's just not accurate.
Together a whole campaign. So persuasion is happening right now. If you know some young African Americans who don't know if they're going to vote, Kamala Harris wants to lift them up. Donald Trump wants to lock them up.
I love a direct to Cam from Van, always on election eve.
And so now I want to give you a little bit more from Van Jones and what he's saying about Philadelphia specifically.
Philadelphia is where we've got to run up a big margin. But Philly overall has been trending down, not in terms of going toward the Republicans, just people not getting out to vote. And so you got people out there like Pastor Carl Day, who's got a bunch of young men with him, knocking on doors, trying to get people to come out. It's a bigger, tougher fight in Philly to get that vote count up than it has been in the past. That has me worried. The other thing that has me worried is that the Jewish vote in the suburban areas, Biden won the Jewish vote by 70%, 70-30 last time. Some polls show Kamala at 50-50. That is 70,000 votes we've bled away. That is the margin for victory.
And so that's what you're seeing. You're seeing that she's not appealing to not only black voters. They put so much concentration on black voters, but she's not appealing to the Jewish vote either. She's down from Biden.
You got groups like Zioness, Amanda Berman out there fighting to get the Jewish vote back on board. This is a tough
Trump campaign doing ads
and
to
the
try
Trump
to
campaign pushing the other direction. So this is it is door to door, bruised knuckles, tired legs, a lot of coffee, and I'm nervous and worried, and I'm not going to be anyway until this thing gets called.
Okay, is there anything that is making you happy about Pennsylvania?
No, there's nothing making me happy about.
You see that there's nothing that's making him happy about Pennsylvania. And the truth of the matter is, if you've been looking at polls, you will see that, yes, even though it's record numbers, you will see that even in Georgia, they have record numbers in regards to early voting. However, the black vote specifically is incredibly down. So it looks like a lot of black people are voting the couch. There is not a huge amount of people who are voting for Trump. Yes, there's a lot more than there usually is with regards to black people voting Republican. However, a lot of people are still just disenfranchised with the Democratic Party and are choosing to just sit this out. And that is not a good thing for Kamala. And so in this particular clip, Van is going to discuss how he's not really feeling the whole celebrity ploy year after year. Like they say in 2016, they did the same thing with Hillary and it didn't work. And so for whatever reason, they keep regurgitating all of these celebrities thinking that somehow that's going to influence people to get out and vote. And so, he's going over how he does not think that's going to be effective this year.
Edge of the election. And we lost the state. I don't know if I don't think people understand. Working people sometimes have to choose. Am I going to go to the big cool concert this week and pay for babysitting for that? Or am I going to try to figure out a way to get to the polls? I don't like these big star-studded events. They don't have any, I can't show where they helped us win. In fact, probably helped us lose last time. I don't want people going to concerts. I want people knocking on doors. I want people out there fighting for this thing.
So that's what he said. He's like, it helped us lose last time. And when you put people up there like a Cardi B, a Megan Thee Stallion, a Glorilla, people are insulted. So even if you are trying to use celebrities, you're using the wrong celebrities to actually appeal to voters, which is unfortunate. But, sometimes you got to learn the hard way. And this is going to be a reporter going to Philadelphia so that they can just speak to the black voters in Pennsylvania and see what they're feeling.
Alexander, trimming and shaving here for 24 years. It's all about community.
You know, being a barber, you know the whole family.
These days, many of those families are struggling.
Inflation is killing everybody. Like literally, this blade on my clipper has tripled in price.
Inflation, everything is bananas. It's crazy.
The economic pinch may be shaving support away from Democrats. State voter registration records show a decade ago, Democrats outnumbered Republicans in Pennsylvania by more than 1 million voters. That advantage has shrunk to 350.
Look at that. In 2012, there was 1.1 million voters. This year, 350,000. That is a lot of votes to lose in one state.
I think we need Donald Trump. I honestly do. I think we need a hustler back in our White House.
They need to be more hands-on, in the community. They need to be invested in the small businesses in every community in the United States of America.
As to skin color swaying their vote,
I don't think skin is enough. Skin color is enough. I would love to see her more in the Black community, more in small business communities to actually see what's really going on.
We ask tonight that you help us to rise above it.
Reverend Todd Johnson gave the opening prayer at Trump's Philadelphia rally in June. He hears the frustration from many in his congregation.
Yes, I hear that a lot. These are lifelong Democrats. They're not in love with Trump, but they see Trump as a viable alternative to what they are experiencing with their pocketbook and their wallet.
He points to crime as another big factor. Despite figures showing violent crime in Philly is actually at the lowest level in a decade, parishioners say they're scared to walk the streets.
They see Trump as a person who would have more of a law and order.
He says Harris being Black and a former district attorney won't be enough to win them back.
I would imagine most of my members attach her to Biden. Those two are inseparable. So their distaste for Biden will carry over for their distaste for Kamala.
She did too much out LA for me. She did too much damage to the Black community out there.
Experts say if Trump can turn out enough Black voters, it could help sweep Pennsylvania.
Trump had our economy humming. He'll do it again. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
The campaigns are in assault mode, spending millions on TV ads and repeated visits to the area. They have their work cut out for them.
If you want me to vote for you, what are you really going to do for myself, my family, my community?
And so there you have it. That's the thing. That gentleman there said, that was sitting in the barber chair, said she did too much in California for me. So they're assuming that people just aren't aware, that people just aren't doing their research, that people just you could just push her out there, say she's a Black woman, and then we'll just go with it. Like, that's not going to work. Like, people with the advent of social media, that's just not going to work. You can Google this woman, Google her as a district attorney in LA. You can Google her as a senator. You can Google her whole career, and you will see newspaper articles. You will see YouTube exposés about what she's done. There are people whose lives she has negatively impacted. So this is just not going to work. The average voter is a lot more educated than they were in the past. And information, like I said, is aplenty. You can get it anywhere. And that's why specifically Democrats want to shut down the advent of social media, because we are not buying for all of the lies that they continue to try to push on us. You have a different voice. You have CNN, the NBC, the CBS's, and they have a specific narrative. But then you have people that come online and, they're truth tellers. People online are digging up old files and saying, listen, this is what she did here. This is what she did when. And, Black people, and it's not just Black people. I don't know why they're putting so much attention on the Black voter, because everybody is feeling it, no matter what nationality, no matter what religion, no matter what city and state. People are feeling it. The economy is really honing in and causing a lot of stress among citizens, and this whole border situation is causing a lot of chaos in people's cities. And people are not feeling it. So I agree with what that gentleman said, that pastor said. A lot of his parishioners are not supporters of Trump in regards to his personality. They support Trump and his policies. And they already know that the Democrats have not done anything for them. The lady at the barbershop says, I want to see her in our communities. You're not going to see her in your community until it's time to vote, until it's time for her to actually use you for her benefit. Other than that, Kamala could care less about what's happening in Philadelphia. She don't care about what's happening in Chicago, unless you talking about rolling a bus in so that you could get free abortions. She's not interested. She's not interested in anything. And that whole black men's policy that she came out with, that was a joke. And they announced that the policy was not for specifically black men. They just put black men's name at the top, but it also says for others. So, legalizing weed and, the loan, forgivable loan. So it's not a loan, but it's a grant, or it's not a grant. It's all wordplay. Ultimately, what it will be is it's a loan, and we will forgive this loan if, but she's not going to tell you what the caveat is. She's not going to tell you what you need to do or give up in order for them to forgive that loan for you. So there's always a catch. There's always something, to end up playing you. And I think people are just tired of it. Like I said, every single year they get on the campaign trail and they start making all these promises. And as soon as they're elected, you don't hear from them again. And Kamala, she is in office. So she has the opportunity to make all of these changes with regards to the economy, with regards to the border. And she wants to wait until she's actually voted in to implement any of these new policies. And I just don't think obviously, it just hasn't been smart. I don't know if she will win tonight. I'm hoping that she doesn't, but I just, they went about it the entire wrong way. I think Democrats have just completely lost touch with their constituents. They really only care about themselves, and people feel it. People know it. People are tired of being lied to. People are tired of being manipulated. People are tired of paying all this money in taxes, and then when you need the government, they're not there for you. Look at all those people who were harmed in North Carolina due to those hurricanes. Look at all the people in Florida and in Texas who were negatively impacted by hurricanes, but yet their government wasn't there to help them. These are tax-paying citizens. That is just unacceptable. But we can send all this money to Ukraine. We can send all this money to Israel. We can devote all this money to illegal migrants or migrants crossing the border. But then when, you have a hurricane or some natural disaster that hits our shores, you just out of luck. And it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable in every way. And I can already predict that in the event Kamala loses, they're going to say, well, America's just not ready for a woman. Obviously, we didn't put in Hillary, we didn't vote in Kamala, so America's just not ready for a woman. But that's not the case. That's not the case. I know a lot of people personally who really enjoy Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is on it. She's the one that dragged Kamala for her horrible record as a DA. And Tulsi Gabbard is on the side of Trump. She too used to be a Democrat and is now standing with Trump. A lot of people are just not okay with all of the propaganda, with all of the lies, with all of the manipulation, having all these lobbyists who pretty much support their campaign, and then they just do whatever these billionaires want and completely ignore the citizens. And so people are they're just tired of that sentiment. And a lot of people see change in Trump. He's not a career politician. He doesn't, he's not in the swamp. He's not in bed with all of these wealthy people, and he can't be bought. And that's why they don't want him near that White House. But, I agree with the gentleman in the barbershop. We need some things to be shooken up. I get, he's a white man and Kamala's a woman, but it's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? It's much deeper than that. I would never just vote for her because she's supposedly a black woman and her policies are horrible, especially what she's done to people in California. Everybody knows California is a mess. And so why would you want the rest of the nation to be governed by someone who did what she did in California? It's deplorable, and people want better. People deserve better. The American public deserves better. They deserve to be able to live comfortably. They deserve to be able to buy a home. They deserve to be able to provide for their children. They deserve safety. And so people are seeing those possibilities with Trump, and we'll see how it all shakes at the end of the day. So again, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you have not subscribed, please do, so that I can continue on this journey, continue giving you this information. Again, thank you so much for spending this time with me. My name is Drea Banu, and this is the Community Ledger.